So this is day one of the sweet potato reset, and I'm starting my day at the local gym. I haven't eaten yet, and my last meal was yesterday evening. What you're about to see here is me going through a typical mixed full body gym routine, something I've done on and off throughout my life. I wanted to reset things a bit this week and go back to something much simpler and more repeatable, especially since I'm changing when I eat. After I arrive at the gym, I always start on a cardiovascular machine, and I honestly don't mind which one. A bike, a rowing machine, or treadmill all work fine here. The point isn't the machine, it's just to get your body warm, especially on a cold winter morning like today. I'll usually do 5 to 10 minutes, just enough that I'm breathing a bit heavier and my body actually feels awake before I do anything else. Stretching has been a weak point for me for a long time, and I try to make a conscious effort to include it properly now. It's underrated, easy to skip, and something I've ignored more than I should have. So, after the warm up, I spend at least 5 minutes stretching and doing some dynamic movements. Nothing complicated, but this is something I want to be doing every single day, even if it's only for 5 to 10 minutes. You know, when you're younger, you can jump straight into any exercise without much thought, but as you get older, warming up properly becomes important for injury prevention. So after I finish stretching, I move on to a full body training session. This is something I'll be doing every day this week, full body with some cardio at the end. I know some people might hear that and immediately think it sounds like overtraining, but the key thing here is how I train. I use relatively light weights and I never go anywhere near failure, and typically it's 12 to 20 reps. I'm not chasing exhaustion and I pay attention to how my body feels instead of following a rigid split or forcing progression. I'm not really trying to build muscle here. The goal is simply to maintain what I have and just give my body a signal to keep it. That's why I can come back here again the next day and do something similar again. I also naturally train at a slower tempo, partly because of old injuries and partly because rushing things have never really worked well for me. Slowing the reps down keeps me more aware of what I'm actually doing instead of just moving weight around. And if something feels sore or off, then I don't train that muscle at all. The exception is things like walking, as obviously I'm still using my legs throughout the day. I try to use a mix of machines, free weights and body weight movements, focusing on controlled reps and steady pacing that hit the major muscle groups. When I say full body training, I don't mean trying to cram every exercise into one session or ticking boxes. I keep a loose structure in mind instead, and I'll usually pick one chest exercise, one back or shoulder movement, something for the legs and something for the core muscles. I also don't get attached to specific movements. If a machine's taken, a bench is busy, or something just doesn't feel right that day, like a tight hamstring or something, I'll do a rough swap and move on. And to be clear, I'm not training as an athlete or trying to optimize anything. I'm just a regular guy doing general training, and this kind of approach works for me. I just want a bit of everything: cardio, weights, and some flexibility, if you know what I mean. I've also learned about myself that I do much better with a clear, repeatable structure. That's probably why traditional split routines have never really worked well for me long term. I've done plenty of them over the years, things like bro splits, push-pull legs, cardio-only days and gym classes, but looking back, I was often skipping days or still recovering from the session before, and the routines never really got going. So yeah, once I've stimulated my muscles with decent form, I'm done. I'm not trying to empty the tank. Because I'm spreading that work across the whole body and keeping the intensity sensible, I don't usually wake up stiff and beat up the next day. That's what allows me to come back in, move again and keep the routine intact. For me, that repeatability is the whole point. Training is there to support the rest of my life, not take it over. So again, the goal is simply to move my body, keep some stimulus on the muscles and support recovery. After the weights, I'll finish with another 15 to 30 minutes on a cardio machine. All in, that puts me at around an hour in the gym each day. That feels like a good middle ground for me. Not minimal, but not excessive either, especially when you factor in walking and any extra steps I naturally get throughout the day. A few hours after training while I'm recording this, there's no soreness or discomfort at all. If anything, I feel a bit more switched on than before, more like a gentle lift in energy rather than something I need to recover from. Anyway, once I finished the workout, I went home and weighed myself, and as you can see here, the weigh-in is 229.5 pounds, and this will be my starting weight for the sweet potato reset. I'll do a quick physique check here as well, mainly to document where I'm at visually with better light than I get at home. Feel free to look away for a second to protect your eyes, of course. And this footage will give me a clear reference point to compare against later. Later today, after I upload the video, I'll break the fast at around 5 PM and eat my meal over a 1 hour window. Once that window closes, I'm fully into day one. From there on, I'll keep the same meal timing each day to keep things as consistent as possible. That consistency matters more to me than hitting perfect ratios because fewer variables make it easier to track what's actually happening. Sleep is another thing I'm watching closely, and I'm aiming for around 8 hours a night. If anything starts affecting my sleep, then I'll scale things back and focus more on stretching and breathing instead of pushing training. Some days I'll train early like today, and other days will be later, depending on how busy the gym is and whether I can record comfortably. But if you're looking to start exercising, the timing really doesn't matter. Morning, evening, night time, whenever you can do it, you'll be making a difference to your health, and that's what matters. I'll put my workout at the end of the video if anyone's interested, and I guess it's also useful for me to look back on, kind of like a workout journal attached to each video. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll check back in tomorrow for day 2.